There's a hidden battle happening around US every single day. ITS not loud, it doesn't announce itself, and worst of all, it often comes from the people we trust the most. Friends, family, people we love. It starts small, an offhand comment that lingers in your mind a little too long, a conversation that leaves you feeling uneasy, a relationship that slowly, subtly drains you of your peace. Before you even realize it, your confidence slips, your thoughts start shifting, and your emotions begin reacting to forces. UCANT, even C, and TATS, the scary part. Most people DONT see it until ITS too late. This is why the Stoics believe that true wisdom begins with awareness, with seeing things as they really are, not just how they appear on the surface. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dead with the color of its thoughts." That means the people around you, the conversations you allow, the energies you entertain, they shape you in ways you don't even realize. And if you're not careful, if you don't train yourself to recognize when something is pulling you off track, you won't notice until you've already become someone you never intended to be. But HERES, the good news, once you start recognizing these influences, you take back your power. You regain control over your thoughts, your emotions, and most importantly, your peace. That's exactly what we're diving into today, how to recognize the subtle hidden forces that might be working against you, even when they come in the form of a friend, a family member, or someone you trust. And trust me, once you learn to see it, you can never unsee it. So stick with me here, because every single part of this video connects, and missing even one piece could mean missing the exact insight you need right now. Let's get into it. Some of the biggest forces shaping your life aren't the ones you see. The ones working in the background, subtle, quiet, almost invisible. ITS, the words people repeat around you, the energy they bring into your space, the attitudes they carry. Influence always announce itself. It slips in slowly until one day you wake up feeling different, thinking differently, and you are not even sure why. The Stoics knew that the world is full of distractions, opinions, and external forces trying to pull you in every direction. That's why they focused so much on guarding the mind. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself to be careful of what he absorbed, to filter out anything that didn't align with reason and virtue. He understood that we become what we allow to shape us. If you're surrounded by negativity, doubt, and fear, you start to internalize it. If you spend enough time with people who see limits instead of possibilities, you start seeing them too. Most people don't realize this is happening. They think their thoughts are entirely their own, but THYRE not. Every conversation, every repeated phrase, every interaction leaves a mark. A friend who constantly compliments, you start feeling heavier even if you aren't upset before. A family member who always highlights the worst-case scenario, you start second-guessing your decisions. A colleague who subtly undermines you, their words sit in the back of your mind, making you doubt your abilities even when there's no real reason to. Epictetus taught that we must be ruthless in protecting our inner world. He said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." The same goes for influence. If you're not careful, you let the wrong vices dictate your mindset, your confidence, even your sense of purpose. And the danger isn't just in obvious negativity. Sometimes influence comes in the form of passive discouragement. People who don't directly attack your dreams, but who never fully support them either. The ones who say, "THDTS great, but," or "I just don't want to see you get hurt." They sound caring, but what they're really doing is planting doubt. True awareness means paying attention. It means stepping back and asking yourself, where did this thought come from? Is this belief mine, or did I inherit it from someone else? Because once you see where your I influences are coming from, you get to decide what stays and what goes. And THATS, where real strength begins. So how do you know when THATS happening? ITS, not always obvious. If it were, why would shut it down immediately? But these influences tend to be slow, sneaky, and gradual. It starts with small things, offhand comments, repeated criticisms disguised as concern, a constant undercurrent of negativity that makes it feel like the world is always against you. Think about your relationships. Do you have people in your life who always highlight problems but never solutions? Who make everything feel heavy, as if life is just one endless struggle? Seneca warned against this kind of influence, saying that we should be careful not to sink under the weight of others' burdens. There is a difference between supporting someone and being dragged into their storm. Some people aren't looking for a way out of their negativity. They just want company in their misery. Then there are the manipulators. They're not always obvious. They don't control you outright. Instead, they plant small doubts. They make you question your instincts, your decisions, your own judgment. You say something with confidence, and they respond with, "Are you sure about that?" Or "I don't know. I heard that's really risky." Harmless at first, right? But when you hear it enough, it starts to sink in. Slowly, you start deferring to them, doubting yourself, second-guessing things you once knew to be true. And let's talk about jealousy disguised as support. Ever share good news with someone only to be met with a forced smile and a half-hearted "That's great, I guess"? Or maybe they instantly shift the conversation back to themselves, making your moment of joy feel like it never even happened. That's not just an oversight, ITS, a pattern. The Stoics believe that the company you keep should be one that sharpens you, strengthens you, and reinforces your values. If someone consistently downplays your successes or subtly discourages you from pursuing growth, that's an influence you need to evaluate. There is also the constant victim, the person who always has a problem, always blames others, and never takes responsibility. They feed on your sympathy, pulling you into their chaos, making you feel guilty if you don't get involved. But as Epictetus reminds us, you become what you give your attention to. If all your energy is spent absorbing someone else's drama, how much do you have left for your own purpose? And finally, pay attention to your body. Sometimes, before your mind catches on, your body will tell you everything you need to know. Do you feel tense around certain people? Do you catch yourself sighing the moment you see their name pop up on your phone? Do you feel lighter, freer, more at peace when THYRE not around? That's not just stress, THATS, your body signaling you that something isn't right. The Stoics taught that wisdom, isn't just about intellectual reasoning, ITS about listening, observing, and responding wisely. Ever wonder why certain thoughts, emotions, or behaviors seem to stick with you even when you know THRE not serving you? You try to shake them off, but they linger, shaping the way you see yourself, the way you react, the way you move through life. THATS, not by accident. THATS, influence at work. And the strongest influences aren't always the loudest. They're the ones that slip in unnoticed, settling in your mind and subtly shifting the course of your decisions before you even realize it. The Stoics were obsessed with this idea, understanding how external forces shape us and, more importantly, how to guard against them. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself to filter the thoughts he allowed into his mind, knowing that the world around him would always try to impose its values, its fears, its distractions onto him. And let's be honest, most people don't even realize they're being influenced. They move through life on autopilot, absorbing whatever energy surrounds them, reacting instead of choosing, drifting instead of directing. A lot of these influences start early. The way your parents spoke to you, the kind of household you grew up in, the attitudes you were exposed to. Without even realizing it, you might be carrying beliefs that aren't yours, beliefs about success, about relationships, about what's possible for you. Maybe you grew up around constant scarcity, and now, no matter how much you achieve, there's still a quiet fear in the back of your mind that it could all disappear. Maybe you were surrounded by criticism, and now, even in moments of confidence, you feel the need to prove yourself. And it doesn't stop in childhood. Every conversation you have, every social circle you are a part of, every piece of content you consume, it's all shaping you in some way. Some people, knowingly or unknowingly, push their limitations onto you. They do it with malice. They do it because it's all they know. They see risk where you see opportunity. They see obstacles where you see potential. And if you are not careful, you start seeing through their EYs instead of your own. Seneca had a simple but powerful rule: be mindful of what you allow to shape you. He knew that you rise above the people you surround yourself with. You either grow with them or you shrink to fit them. Some influences sharpen you, some weaken you, some make you more of yourself, some make you someone you never intended to be. And the real challenge, recognizing the difference before it's too late. Why awareness is everything. The second you start questioning why you think the way you do, why you react a certain way, why you believe what you believe, you gain power. You start filtering out the noise, keeping what serves you and discarding what doesn't. And when real clarity begins, not every battle is worth fighting, and not every influence deserves your attention. The moment you realize this, life becomes a lot clearer. There will always be negativity, manipulation, and subtle attempts to steer you off course. But what the Stoics knew, and what most people overlook, is that your power isn't in controlling others, it's in controlling yourself. You decide what gets in, you decide what shapes you, and once you start filtering out the noise, you stop being so easily moved. Marcus Aurelius had a habit of reminding himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength that apps to everything: conversations, conflicts, relationships. The question isn't, why is this person acting this way? It's, how do I choose to respond? Because influence only works if you allow it. Someone can try to plant doubt, but you don't have to water it. Someone can try to stir up anger, but you don't have to give it a home. So what do you do when you recognize an unhealthy influence? First, pause. Don't react emotionally. The moment you get pulled into their energy, you've already lost. Observe, listen, let them reveal themselves. Epictetus used to say that the first sign of wisdom is the ability to delay reaction, because when you pause, you get clarity. You see patterns instead of isolated incidents. You recognize when someone is speaking from their own fears, not from truth, and that clarity is everything. Next, set boundaries. Not everything deserves a response. Not every person deserves full access to you. Seneca warned about spending too much time with those who drain your spirit, saying that the wise person is careful with their time because it is the one resource they can never get back. That means learning to say no, not with anger, not with resentment, but with quiet confidence. You don't have to justify it. You don't have to explain yourself. Just step back and protect your peace. And finally, strengthen yourself. The more solid you are in your values, the less others can shake you. The more you invest in wisdom, the less you'll be misled. The Stoics didn't just focus on avoiding bad influences. They focused on becoming so strong internally that nothing external could control them. That's where real power is. It's not about avoiding every negative person. It's about being so anchored in who you are that nothing, not words, not opinions, not outside forces, can move you from your path. There's a moment in every interaction where you feel it, that split-second realization that something isn't right. Maybe it's the way someone downplays your excitement over something important to you. Maybe it's the subtle shift in their tone when you mention a new opportunity. Or maybe it's the way you always feel unsettled after spending time with them, like a wait you can't quite explain. That feeling, THATS discernment knocking. The question is, are you paying attention? The Stoics taught that clarity isn't about seeing more, it's about seeing correctly. Marcus Aurelius constantly trained himself to look beyond the surface, reminding himself that people's words and actions often reveal more about them than anything else. So when someone speaks, listen not just to what they say, but to WHATS underneath. Does their encouragement feel genuine, or is there hesitation? Are they happy for you, or just tolerating your success? Some people criticize you outright, but they'll disguise their doubts as concern. Are you sure you can handle that? That seems like a lot of pressure. These comments seem harmless at first, but over time, they chip away at your confidence. Then there are the ones who always steer conversations toward conflict. You start with a simple topic, but somehow they turn it into an argument or a debate, not because THYRE seeking truth, but because they thrive in chaos. Seneca warned about these types, saying that some people don't want peace, they want reaction, they want to pull you into their storm, because they can't handle the stillness of your presence. Recognizing this is key. If every interaction with someone leaves you feeling drained, anxious, or defensive, that's not just their personality, that's a pattern. And what about the ones who seem to support you, but only to a point? They celebrate your wins as long as your success doesn't surpass theirs. They encourage growth, but only in ways that keep you at their level. You share a new goal, and instead of pushing you forward, they remind you of past failures, of risks, of why it might not work, not because they want to protect you, but because your growth forces them to confront their own stagnation. Epictetus put it simply, if you desire to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Not everyone will understand your path. Not everyone will celebrate it. And THATS fine. What matters is whether you allow their fears to dictate your steps. Discernment ISNT about labeling people as good or bad. ITS about recognizing who influences you and how. The wrong influence can make you doubt what you once believed in. The right influence can remind you of your own strength. The Stoics didn't waste time trying to change others. They focused on seeing people as they are and choosing wisely. Once you recognize the patterns, the next step is clear. Either limit their influence or reinforce your own mindset so strongly that nothing they say can shake it. Strength, ISNT, about fighting every battle. ITS about knowing which ones to walk away from. When it comes to protecting your peace, the real work, ISNT, in changing others, ITS in strengthening yourself so that no outside force can pull you off course. The Stoics didn't believe in isolation, but they did believe in boundaries. They understood that the mind, like a fortress, needs walls, not to keep the world out, but to control what gets in. The first step is awareness. If you don't know who or what is influencing you, you can't protect yourself from it. Pay attention to patterns. Notice how you feel after spending time with certain people. Do you leave feeling lighter, clearer, more focused, or do you feel anxious, uncertain, drained? Marcus Aurelius made it a habit to examine his thoughts daily, filtering out anything that didn't serve his higher purpose. That's the level of discipline required. You don't just let any ideas settle in your mind. You evaluate it. You decide if it's worth keeping. Next, set limits, not out of anger, but out of wisdom. Not every conversation needs your engagement. Not every opinion needs a response. Seneca put it simply, associate with those who will make a better man of you. That doesn't mean cutting people off at the first sign of negativity, but it does mean being intentional about where you place your energy. If someone constantly drains you, not selfish to take a step back, survival, then strengthen your internal world. If your mind isn't anchored, every passing influence will sway you. Stoicism teaches that true power comes from self-mastery. That means developing habits that reinforce your clarity, reading, journaling, practicing stillness. Epictetus reminded his students that the more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. The more you rely on external validation, the easier it is for others to manipulate you. But when you build a solid foundation within yourself, the opinions, doubts, and negativity of others lose their grip. And finally, choose your influences wisely. You can't always avoid negativity, but you can counterbalance it. Surround yourself with people who sharpen your mind, who challenge you to grow, who remind you of who you are when you forget. The company you keep either pulls you backward or pushes you forward. The choice is always yours. You don't rise alone, no one does. The people around you either lift you up, keep you stagnant, or slowly drag you down. And the hard truth is, most people never take the time to assess WHOS in their corner. They assume friendships, relationships, and social circles are just things that happen when in reality they shape everything. Your mindset, your energy, your ambition. The Stoics understood this well. They knew that the quality of your life is directly tied to the quality of the company you keep. Seneca had a rule: surround yourself with those who elevate you, not those who weaken you. That doesn't mean looking for perfect people. It means looking for people who challenge you in the right way, who call you out when you're slipping, but never from a place of envy or control, who celebrate your wins, not with forced smiles, but with genuine pride, who push you to be better, not by criticizing, but by leading by example. YOUVE probably felt the difference before. When YORE around the right people, something shifts. Conversations feel lighter but also deeper. You leave feeling more like yourself, not less. There is no competition, no need to shrink yourself to make others comfortable, no undercurrent of jealousy disguised as concern. These relationships sharpen you. They remind you of what you're capable of. Epictetus said it best: the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. But HERES, where people get stuck, they're afraid to let go of relationships that no longer serve them. They hold on to friendships out of habit, out of history, out of guilt. But Marcus Aurelius reminds us, it is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. If certain connections are keeping you from living fully, from growing, from becoming who you are meant to be, then holding on to them isn't loyalty, it's self-betrayal. The people in your life should add to it, not just exist in it. Building a strong circle isn't about cutting people off with anger or resentment. It's about choosing wisely. Seek out those who value wisdom, who live with discipline, who strive to be better. Pay attention to how people speak. Do they complain more than they create? Do they inspire action, or do they reinforce fear? You don't need a crowd, you just need the right few. And once you find them, you'll realize just how much of your energy was being spent in the wrong places. Most people drift through life without ever questioning who and what is shaping them. They wonder why they feel drained, why their confidence wavers, why their vision for the future seems to shrink over time. But the truth is, everything you allow into your life, every conversation, every relationship, every belief you adopt without thinking, is either sharpening you or dulling you. And if you don't take control of that process, someone else will. The Stoics weren't concerned with controlling the world. They were concerned with controlling themselves, their thoughts, their responses, their inner world, TATS, where true freedom lies. UCANT, stop people from being negative. UCANT, force others to see your potential. But you can choose what influences you. You can choose who gets access to your energy, your time, your mind, and that choice is everything. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that life is too short to be wasted on things that don't serve the soul. If SOMEONE's presence leaves you feeling small, if their words chip away at your peace, if their energy distracts rather than strengthens you, you owe it to yourself to step back. This ISNT about resentment, ITS about wisdom. You are responsible for protecting your own mind. No one else will do it for you. And HERES, the best part, once you start making better choices, once you start aligning yourself with people who bring out the best in you, once you learn to guard your thoughts like a fortress, everything changes. Your confidence, your focus, your ability to move through life with clarity and purpose, it all gets sharper. You stop being easily swayed by opinions. You stop seeking validation from those who don't understand your path. And most importantly, you step into the kind of person you were always meant to be. The question is, what are you going to do now? Are you going to let the wrong influences keep shaping you? Or are you going to start choosing your circle, your thoughts, your direction with intention? The choice is yours. If you found value in this, there's another video on the screen that takes these ideas even deeper. I'll see you there. And as always, thank you for being a part of Live Virtue Stoic.